Flavio Dino's intention was to shield Lulinha's son because it's obvious they would try to do something. André was already prepared. André was more than ready. So much so that several actions they took now, Minister André Mendonça, left Dino in a real bind. And this also refers to the case of President Bolsonaro, because when it came to cases involving President Bolsonaro, any minister who got it would automatically go along. Since Alexandre de Moraes was the rapporteur, all Bolsonaro-related matters went to him. Now it's André's turn, and he's shown he'll deliver a checkmate, making things even more complicated. Especially because André has Lulinha here, Lulinha is here. I'll show you guys. Hit the like button, come be part of our family, subscribe to our channel, don't forget, and leave your comments. I want to leave a message for you here. If you need to lose some inches, lose a little weight, guys, we have the right solution. With this little product here, I managed to lose 20 kilos in just under 2 months. The results I'm showing you here, look at these pictures, I always show them. This was a few months ago. It's not even a year ago. Sometimes what we need is a little push, just like I did. I was working out every day and still couldn't lose weight. Why? Sometimes that anxiety, that urge to keep eating junk all the time and so on. Isla Inferno helps you control that anxiety, reduces your appetite a bit, and it's completely natural. It's not like those things people inject and so on. And it's causing a lot of harm. It's not that I don't want to talk about it. Just Google it. It's causing a lot of harm to many people. This here is natural. It's completely natural. It's a powder that you put in water, mix it in all, and drink it. It reduces your appetite and you end up losing inches. I managed to do it this way. It was a very successful result. I wasn't able to lose weight. It used to be easy for me many years ago, but once you get past 40, it really gets hard, really hard, and it helped me a lot. That's why I like to mention it in all the videos here, because I know it's a problem for a lot of people. It's hard to lose weight, it's hard to do it alone, you have to make a plan, and you also need a lot of willpower. I always say this here, this alone doesn't solve it. It doesn't work by itself. It depends on this. It depends on us. If I could do it, I'm 46 years old. Why can't you do it too? Isla Inferno, great product, link right below. Really good for everyone who wants to lose weight. These were just some news updates, just to remind you all. Lulinha, look at what Senator Carlos Portinho is saying. I remember when I was a parliamentary advisor on the CPMI team. From the corporate cards during Dilma's government, from the Workers' Party, yes, the same one, where they even paid for tapioca with the government card. Among the findings in the invoices, there were motels and other outrageous things. And it's no surprise to learn that Lula's son paid for his internet at the expense of the Brazilian worker. Even that. Now it started to come out, from Lula's son's internet bill, charges for the Mont Blanc pen, the abuses of the corporate card. Lula's son is not making the news for the first time because of all these outrageous things. Guys, the guy is such a lackey, we can even say, a real bum, that even his internet bill was paid for and covered by the corporate card. Flavio Dino was desperate. Lula's situation was way too tense. It's his son. The polls are making him stumble. Lulinha is going to accuse. Yesterday it came out that he was going to accuse his friend, that Luxembourg woman, because of his bank statements, phone records. André already has all of that. André already has all of that in his hands. It's just that they're afraid. André here, because a lot of things came up, because guys, they had a partnership for years. The guy is saying here that he's going to accuse his friend. Now, draw your own conclusions. Dino, obviously, mysteriously needed to act. She had filed something yesterday at the Supreme Court. Look at Andressa Mateis. Dino decided in 25 hours a request to protect the lobbyist, a friend of Lulinha, because by protecting her, he automatically protects Lulinha too. But André Mendonça is the one handling this case. So, you understand, look, Pastor Silas Malafaia went there and already recorded a video. Immediately. Right when all this happened. Because Pastor Silas, he's evangelical. He has all this communication with Andre's church, with the evangelicals. To be able to criticize all this decision that Dino made, and also to give strength and put pressure on André Mendonça. I'll put it here for you to see. I'm getting it here. It disappeared right when we were about to show it. In other words, with Pastor Silas Malafaya's statement, it also brings reassurance. He needs to act. Look at this.
Blessed people of Brazil, what we are witnessing is the most absurd of absurdities. Stop and think. Stay with me until the end. Flavio Dino, the hardcore communist minister who is working for Lulinha.
Pressure, pressure, pressure. For Mr. Andre, I can't show the whole video because it has copyright. And here, the federal police already have Lulinha's bank data, and they're cross-referencing information. But this federal police, the one with the data on this stooge here, is that other wing of the federal police. Another wing, there are several fronts. Today we found out, even on Cable News Network itself, the little girl from Cable News Network she was reporting. Federal police officers were passing the information to Vorcaro. So that's why this operation has to be carried out by people who won't pass this information on, because Vorcaro already knew about it. The federal police already have the bank records of Fabio Luiz Lula da Silva, son of Inácio. The agency is already cross-referencing information with other suspects. In other words, that blonde from the National Security Service, the bald guy, and the lobbyist as well. The goal is to track how money moved between the people and their bank accounts. The National Institute of Social Security Parliamentary Inquiry Committee was unaware that the federal police had already requested access to Lulinha's banking, tax, and telecom records. As Lula's son is known, the rapporteur in the Supreme Federal Court case, André Mendonça, had already authorized this entire operation. And Lula, look here, he was desperate. Mendonça's decision, which broke Lulinha's confidentiality, caught Lula and the presidential palace by surprise. He was already in a desperate situation. And here, everything Lula is trying to do is to see if he can improve his poll results. Tomorrow, Data Folha will be released. Data Folha, if Data Folha brings some information about the negative polls, for Lula, the situation will get worse. That's why they're all trying to accuse Nikilos. Bolsonaro is also friends with the owner of Banco Master. He's the father of Lulinha. They're friends. Now, everything, those guys are in a really tight spot. Davi Alcolumbre, when he had already denied it, right, that... The issue of secrecy for Lulinha, he already knew that Flavio Dino was going to make that decision. They already knew. These people are not fools at all. Now, just imagine, Andre must have been outraged because it's his case. Dino has nothing to do with getting involved. If he had won it in those crazy raffles, he would have already had to give it away. Immediately to Andre, this case, especially because, look, they've already done this in the past, right? When it was about Bolsonaro, everything ended up in Alexandre de Moraes' hands. If the minister was authorized, it would end up in Alexandre de Moraes' hands. It's just outrageous. Look at that. The news outlets outside Brazil, Bolsonaro was tortured in a process orchestrated by Moraes, as a European newspaper already says. And regarding Lulinha, he's also becoming famous abroad. Look at what came out about him here. Look, several international news outlets. It's the Supreme Federal Court of Brazil that authorized an investigation into Weiro de Lula for alleged corruption. Corruption, intense corruption, media outlets. The Diario de la Nación, look, also released a note about Lulinha. The whole world already knows who this puppet is. Who this puppet is and the atrocities he's capable of. Why do you think he went to Spain? Now, everything starts to make sense. In Spain, the prime minister is a communist, a socialist, a close friend of Inácio until Trump put a lot of pressure on him just now. Oh, I can't use your bullets there to solve the Iran situation. Then I'll cancel any kind of trade between the United States and Spain. It was obvious that he was going to look for help, to give in a country that was an ally of the guy, because they're all as bad as each other. Globo is already discussing multiple cases.
We're no longer dealing with crimes against the financial system. We're no longer dealing with a bankrupt banker. We're dealing with a mafia, with gangsters, even with hitmen.
See? The weasel-faced guy, André Mendonça, who's doing this full coverage, brought it up. If the senators don't do anything about Dino's decision, we're facing the weakest Congress that has ever existed, says André Mendonça. It's pressure. You have to put on pressure. To solve it, it has to be through pressure.
It's because why can't Congress have access to the confidentiality of a person who is being investigated by the federal police in this National Institute of Social Security case? What is so feared is that these accounts will be investigated, because so far the Supreme Federal Court has not denied the lifting of anyone's confidentiality. Except for Maridit, Minister Diaz-Toffoli's company, where a request was made to lift confidentiality at the Organized Crime Parliamentary Commission of Inquiry. And then you can even see a connection in the Supreme Court's decision not to authorize the lifting of confidentiality because the CPMI is investigating organized crime. So, what is Toffoli's company? It's there. Of course, it's related to... It's a real stretch to get to Toffoli's company. Now, regarding Lulinha, it makes no sense for a Supreme Court justice to block a parliamentary inquiry into someone already subject to plea deals and whose confidentiality was lifted by the court. Why is this happening, Neela? So that this information doesn't reach Congress? So that this information isn't that guy, folks, with the cap? That's Lulinha. Please remove that photo. Yes, that's Lulinha, okay? That's Luis Claudio, Lula's other son, who also has issues, but right now we're talking...
Andres' article is open on my tablet. Look, you can mirror it. It shows a photo of Lulinha and Roberta Luxinger.
That's right. Roberta is the one with the tattoo, correct? There's actually a photo in the article with Lulinha's wife that says best friend.
Best friends, huh? Best friends? In other words, the press itself, which before wasn't exposing the biggest atrocities, now they're the ones showing everything. Flavio Dino can do whatever he wants. That will end up giving even more strength so that the things that are going to happen actually get done, right? It was obvious. Lula didn't put Flavio Dino there to do justice. To be a fair person. Much less Ninho. But it also shows at this moment how desperate they are. The more they show themselves, the more they take these actions, the more it shows that Lulinha must be out of options. And Lula too, struggling in the polls and everything else, doing everything he can and can't to try to get out of this situation. If he's going to make it, I think it's very unlikely. Things have fallen apart and it's way too complicated, okay? And we're going to follow all of this. Hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. Leave your comments. Support for Minister André Mendonça. Support. Write it here in the comments section. It's the whole country pushing, helping, and he will do what needs to be done. You can be sure of that. I trust him a lot. A lot. It's time to trust. And we give all the support that André needs, okay?